Let's talk about Candace Owens' defamation case and who I think is probably paying her legal bills. This is speculative. Now, I did read through the original complaint against her. I haven't read through anything subsequently. I do believe she mentioned that she's already spent about $250,000 on this, and it really hasn't been going on for that long. So that's a lot of money. So that made me think of media insurance, which I freaking live in these days. As a large podcaster, investigative journalist, whatever you want to call her, she absolutely should have a large media tower. I would speculate she should probably have like $20 to $50 million of coverage. I don't know her numbers exactly. But just given like whether you like it or not, she is like the number one podcaster out there, right? But at the same time, she is kind of like independent, right? She's not associated with a big news network. But I still would think she would realize that she's got to have a substantial amount of insurance, unless she's one of the crazy ones that decides to like not insure. But that would actually be wild to me. And I'm sure that insurance is very costly for her. But media insurance is exactly what would pick up like a defamation, false light, intentional infliction of emotional distress claim that's coming from something she said online. But there are a couple of big important caveats. Insurance policies will not cover intentional acts or fraud. There's a lot of public policy reasons for why they're not allowed to do that. Otherwise, really bad people would buy insurance policies. But just because there's an allegation of intentionality, a good media policy would be a duty to defend, and the policy would still kick in with a duty to defend the defendant. In this case, it would be Candace, to defend against those allegations. Now, if they were ultimately proven to be true, the insurance company could turn around and sue her after a final non-appealable judgment, which I believe is kind of what happened with Amber Heard, right? Like she had some policy that I think maybe paid like $1 million of her defense costs in the Johnny Depp thing, but since it was found that she acted with actual malice, which is a reckless disregard for the truth, or knowingly false, the person knew it was false and said it, right? I have not paid attention to where that ended up, but you can bet the insurance company wants their money back. So the reason that I'm bringing this up is because there's the actual malice standard for defamation when you're dealing with famous people, which is, you knew it was false and you said it, or you acted with reckless disregard for the truth. And so if defamation is proven, then the insurance companies can say, oh, well, an element of that was actual malice, and that shows intentionality. Therefore, I know we've been paying your defense, but yeah, pay up, pay us back. I should probably look into some case law there, because for me, actual malice means two things, right? It means a person could have spoken about something that they absolutely knew was like not true, right? That to me is clearly like intentional, right? If I see John shoot Sally, and then I say Adam over here is the one that did it, and there's like definitive proof of me seeing this, and then also seeing like Adam over here eating an apple, not doing anything, that's clear, right? But reckless disregard for the truth might be slightly different. So I could see some gnarly battles there with insurance companies. So I'll have to look into that. The other big thing here too, depending on the media policy and depending on who negotiated it for her, would be the attorney's fees, right? And the attorneys she's allowed to use, and if there's a rate cap. I know somebody said that I think she had one of Trump's lawyers on there. I'm sure he's a pretty penny. Was that pre-approved? Because trying to get that approved when a claim's come in the door, pretty freaking hard. Or you're going to get like a substantial rate cap. Maybe you got a couple $100, maybe you got $500. I could see a world where like some carriers would give you $350. It depends on the carrier. But like if he's $1,000 an hour, if he's $1,500 an hour, you're paying that difference, regardless of your insurance limit. So those are some of the things there. Also, the policy probably has a very large retention, and a retention is similar to a deductible. It's actually a self-insured retention, which means that say your retention is $100,000, the first $100,000 of legal fees you're on the hook for before insurance starts paying. I'm sure she has a very high retention. Like there's no way around that. I would say it could be $100,000, it could be $250,000. I mean, she could have $1 million retention. She could.